Good day, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today is the first video, my first live stream for 2025. Hope you guys have a fabulous and plan to have an epic 2025 like what I plan to do this year, especially when we go and look at trading. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to take you guys through the setup, the trading, how it unfolded, this unemployment claim setup. And if you want to see the full version of it and the live version, feel free to go to my channel and look at the live stream that we streamed live. It's less than 30 minutes long, and there you can see that we actually traded live. Alright, so let's jump right into it. Today we have the unemployment claims, and before that I marked out this fair value gap and said, alright, so there's liquidity up here, liquidity, and I was expecting price because there's liquidity that high and that high, and there's this fair value gap. And at the time it was before 8:30. We're making lower lows, crawling up, a lower low, a lower low, and then we get this nice week down at 8:30 when the news came out. Now this candle wasn't a very nice big candle that we normally expect, but even a small candle like this, if you look at it, takes liquidity, and then runs liquidity, and then aggressively runs higher and run the liquidity up here. At that point in time I thought, okay, so create this nice fair value gap, we might invert it and then go down. So therefore it's not a big move, it's a tiny move, but you know what, it's the 2nd of January, and we should only really start looking at trading after mid-January, and because that's when trading will pick up and everybody will be back at their desks and all of that. So but anyways, so we saw that, but I never saw inversion here. And for those of you who don't know, this candle, once that news candle forms, you mark out the high and the low. You want to see liquidity run one of this, the top side or the bottom side first. In this case, top side was run first, and then when we rejected or used this fair value gap as support, I knew, okay, so we're going to go for this liquidity up here. I did take some trades in here, and I took a trade up to these highs and into this fair value gap. My expectation now was to look for a short. Even though we broke aggressively higher, we went higher, then we created a new fair value gap here. Price was support at one stage, and then aggressively moved and inverted it. Now if you know my strategy, the minute we see this, and I'll explain it now, it's not a plus setup, but the context of the trade was there. It went to liquidity, and then it goes, normally seeks the opposite liquidity, and in this case it ran the liquidity that we marked out. It came and inverted this fair value gap. It ran back into the very first fair value gap that was formed. See how price is holding this midpoint of this fair value gap, which is the dotted line, and even the bodies of these candles closed below the the inverted fair value gaps 50%. That tells you we are on site. And if you listen to my live stream, you'll see or you'll hear I said at one stage I want to see a good close below this low, not spiky like that. I need something that tells me we're going lower, and sure enough we got this big black candle taking out this low, where you could have move your stop to, or you should move your stop to break even, and that's one of the rules. And this fair value gap formed, and that should hold price as resistance, pushing price lower, and that's exactly what it done. And sure enough, when you took your trade here, you would have hit target with no problem. So Why is this not a plus setup? So we've run the liquidities, which is all fine. Normally, what I like to see is a big candle running liquidity, and then one who's inducing people to go higher and then return and immediately invert that fair value gap. So if your fair value gap gets inverted at a liquidity level or point of interest that you marked out, and you've got the context that it should go the opposite direction, you want to see that thing inverted in less than 5 or 6 candles. In this case, we created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles. That normally, if it wasn't for all of these things that played out nicely and gave me good context, I wouldn't have taken it. I would have waited, because what I've seen in the past, it will do that and it will come down, invert, and then go back and run it again, and then gives you that ultimate inverted fair value gap. So that's why this is not an A+ setup, but it's still a setup. And once you trade these setups, it's key for you to stick to the rules and move your stop to break even as quickly as you can, not randomly. Once you've taken out that swing low, which is the swing low here, not the swing low there, because this swing low, it's the very next swing low after the fair value gap gets inverted, and that's not that one, that's this one over here. So we break through, move to break even, you never got there, and you pretty much got to your profit target. So that is basically how it played out today. It was a nice trade, and it was a 3-2-1. But what I want to say is, I'm in my channel, this is the start of the new channel, and I will be trading or focusing solely this year on the red fall, the strategy, to show you guys how profitable the strategy can be and is. And I've got other methods or concepts that I'm trading, and I will be trading that on a daily basis. So what I want to tell you is, I'm going to trade live or do live streams daily. I will not do it tomorrow, but from the 15th of January, I will be consistently on a daily basis, whether there's red folder news or not. Other times where there's no red folder news, I will just do my tape reading, do some scalp trades. It's not financial advice, it's purely to show you how I trade, my style, what I see, and maybe you learn something from it. Journal with me through this year, and I can guarantee you, if you stick with me this year, your trading will transform or take 2 levels up. And from a profitability, consistency, and even from an emotional or psychological level, these trades, if you trade these things or a strategy for a long time, you tested it, you've traded it on paper, you've traded it live, and you know this is what it's supposed to do. And if it doesn't do that, you don't want to be in the trade. So that takes that emotion and everything out of it for you to start guessing, is it right, is it wrong? This strategy's got clear rules, and I'm going to make a detailed video to explain to you guys how the strategy works, and so you can benefit from it. So like and subscribe, leave some comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.